99 FM, your inspiration station. You are still tuned into The Pulse, the remix edition, of course. Sibo's not here, and like I said, I promised Sibo that I would take care of you guys. And I feel like I've been doing a good job, and we're still vibing, we're still getting through the 2 hours. And it's time now to take a look at MYD Heart. And we have a very, very special guest in the building today, Lara-Lyn Ahrens. Now, Lara's yoga journey began as a great way to improve her flexibility to support her kickboxing. But today it has become a way of life. Years later, she has become a passionate yoga instructor who particularly enjoys teaching and practicing Acro Yoga, which I will get into and find out exactly what it is because I've heard about it for so long. But the practice, she says, instills communication and trust and empowers people in a way that she has never seen before. So Lara joins us today to talk about yoga, its benefits, and why we should all consider adding it to our fitness routines. Lara, good afternoon.
Hi, Script. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, thank you for joining us.
That was a nice intro.
Thank you. We have to make sure that we give you we do you justice. What you're doing is not your everyday thing. Acro Yoga.
Yes.
What is it? You briefly mentioned it off air.
Right.
What are we talking about here?
Right, so I have married together a couple of things. One of them is yoga, which is my sort of long time love for about 17 years. Mm-hmm. The other one is Thai massage. Okay. And then the third one is partner acrobatics, also known as Acro Yoga. Mm-hmm. That's a combination. I would say there's a lot less yoga in there than you'd be led to believe, and it's just a lot more partner acrobatics. Yeah. And it's a really beautiful way for people to come together, to problem solve, to stay fit and strong, to get flexible, and just to create a nice community. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, let's take it back to the very beginning. Like, how did you get introduced to yoga, and how long have you been practicing?
Yeah, so I got introduced to yoga because I was doing kickboxing, like I said, and I wanted to improve my flexibility. And my sensei's wife, Ziggy Kolber, started teaching us a little bit of yoga before the kickboxing sessions, just to create a little bit of looseness and flexibility. And that started to quickly, I guess, become a love of its own.
Yeah. So would you say kickboxing is your thing right now, or yoga? Which do you feel is?
So I stopped kickboxing pretty early. I was kind of competitive.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you kind of have to. Kickboxing's not one of those things where you can just be laid back and whatever.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun, but I was also doing a lot more acting at the time, and thought that taking a couple of kicks to the face is probably not good for my career. So I wanted to kind of do something a little bit more chill, something a little bit more loving. I love the fitness aspect of kickboxing and the fun sport aspect of it, but I really felt the need to go a little bit more into healing arts.
Now, yoga is completely different, like I said off air. It's you think you're strong until you do yoga, or you attempt to do some yoga. Yeah. But what would you say are the benefits, the health benefits of yoga, and is it enough to keep one fit, or would you always need to supplement it with another form of exercise?
Yeah, if fitness was your goal, I wouldn't say yoga should be your priority. If holistic wellness is your goal, then yoga is for you. And actually yoga is for everyone. It's a lot more than fitness. I know that it seems like it slots in really nicely with, Instagram fitness things, because there's all these yogis looking amazing, doing amazing things. But yoga is a lot deeper than just the physical part of it. It's a lifestyle. It's how you treat yourself. It's how you treat other people. There's a whole massive part of philosophy behind it, spirituality behind it. And those parts are probably getting a little bit lost in today's day and age.
The Instagram age.
Exactly. Yeah. And everybody is thinking about doing something for the way that they'll look or for the way that they'll appear to others, and a lot less about how it will make them feel. And that's what we're a lot more focused on. Doing yoga as the process and not for the progress, and doing it for your own well-being, doing it for how it makes you feel while you're doing it. And the benefits are endless, really, from mental clarity to emotional freedom to physical freedom. Yeah, that's all about.
Let's talk about the progression of yoga, because like we said on Instagram, everyone's doing it, whether they're doing it right or wrong, everyone's doing it. And I feel like from my very little knowledge of yoga, it's one of those things that you kind of have to do right, otherwise you're not really, like with stretching, if you're not stretching a certain muscle in the correct way, it kind of defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah.
What's the progression of yoga just around the globe? Do you feel like more people are getting into it for the right reasons, more people are looking at it as a holistic approach, or is it just like you said, how would I look? Is it good for Instagram? Is it good for the likes?
Yeah.
Where do you think yoga just globally is right now?
So I would say it doesn't matter how you get into it. I got into it through kickboxing, which is probably not the most peaceful, loving way, not the, I wouldn't know if it's the right way to get into it.
Yeah.
But they say it doesn't matter how you find yoga or how you get into it, yoga will work anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And there's probably a very big debate on doing yoga correctly,
Yeah.
and who has the authority to say what's correct.
Mm-hmm.
So there's many schools of thought of yoga, there's many different types of yoga, there's many even modern day gurus and teachers, there's old traditional style yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that the rule of thumb here is that if it is not hurting you, it's not creating pain in your body, and if you're not just doing something for the sake of progress and ignoring the way your body feels, then you're on the right track. The danger with saying, well, traditional yoga is the only right yoga is we don't live traditional yogi lives. We don't eat the traditional yogi diets. We don't live the traditional yogi way. So we could do more harm by practicing the physical part of yoga in a traditional way without... See, the thing is, once something doesn't keep up with the times, it becomes obsolete. Everything needs to keep up with the times, otherwise it becomes pointless.
Yeah.
So I would say there's a little bit of gray area about what's the correct way. So we always remind students, you should be very tapped into how you're feeling. You should be really tuned into your body, and that will guide you.
Yeah.
The teachers are there to guide you about alignment, they're there to guide you about like postures, they're there to guide you about safety. But in the end of the day, you and your body have a long road to walk.
Yeah. And it's all about, your body communicating to you and you being able to communicate to your body and just kind of having that connection.
Right.
When do you feel or think it's the best time to practice yoga?
Gosh, anytime. Early in the morning is really great. There's something called sun salutations, which is sort of like a series of postures that are done in a cycle, and they're there to salute the sun, and they're typically practiced in the evening, in the morning, but they can be practiced anytime.
Yeah.
But really, whenever you have time, practicing yoga, and again, practicing yoga doesn't necessarily mean a physical practice. You can practice yoga by meditating. You could practice yoga through karma, doing nice things for other people. You could practice yoga through study and self-study. So anytime.
So where and how can we join you and get some sessions in with you and just experience the acro yoga more specifically, but just yoga in general, and just get the whole vibe and really get into it? How can we connect with you?
So we have a studio here. I'm very fortunate to also be working with many other yoga teachers in Windhoek, some of them local, some from all over the world. And we've come together to offer classes every single day, so there's always an option to practice. And then also different styles of yoga, and also yoga of different levels. So one of the things that myself and Tweshi are offering in the month of April is yoga foundations. So that'll be every Tuesday and Thursday for 45 minutes. We'll be offering, I wouldn't just call it beginner classes, but a really beautiful class to come into if you want a really great introduction to yoga. Not only the physical stuff, but the breath work, the philosophy, mudras, energy centers, stuff like that. That's a really nice place to start, so if people are interested to start. They can find us on Facebook, the Yoga Shala Windhoek. They can find us on Instagram, the _yoga_shala. But the easiest thing is for people to email us or visit our website. Email is connect. It's nice. Connect at theshala.yoga, and website is theshala.yoga.
And I know we promised you that we wouldn't throw you curveballs, or we promised everybody that we won't throw curveballs, but now we're going to ask you I have 3 questions for you.
Okay.
Like I said, nothing intrusive.
Okay.
Just picking your brain here.
I'm an open book.
All right. Lara,
Yes.
If you could offer a newborn child only one piece of advice, what would it be?
Go your own way.
Ooh, go your own way.
Yeah. I have that song. You can go your own way. Yeah.
All right. If you had to be trapped in a TV show for a month, which show would you choose? A whole month, 31 days.
Friends.
Yeah.
It's just like nothing bad ever happens in Friends.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You're safe. You're safe.
Yes, exactly. And nobody ever has to work. You can just sit at the coffee shop.
Yeah. If you could travel 100 years into the past or 100 years into the future, where would you go and why?
Ooh, great question. Oh, I am going to the future. I really need to know if Elon Musk
Takes us to Mars.
takes
enough?
us to Mars. I would just love to see where it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see. Yeah, I'd like to see the future. Why
Yeah.
not?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us and just giving us an insight into yoga. You know, you think you know something until you really know something.
Yeah.
I think we all get involved in some Acro Yoga. We have Martin on the side here saying he stretches every day.
Yeah.
He approves. He's giving the nod of approval.
Yes.
So
And you guys are all going to come to the studio and
yes,
do some yoga, right?
yes,
Uh-huh.
for sure. We'll come through, we'll do some yoga, and we can't wait to see where you and your yoga journey go off into the future as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And that is MYD Heart, taking care of your hearts and taking care of your body and your mind and your soul and your spirit and your pulse, because this is the pulse. Up next, it is I Feel It Coming, the weekend.